Today I'm going to work in my Society for Ideas Collectors journal. I have some things that I want to share with you. I am working on a project inspired by Dede Willingham. It's one of her homework projects. I'm having a lot of fun with it. For the viewers of her series that she is doing, Society for Idea Collectors, I will put a link to her channel and her playlist for this series in the description box below. So here's where I am on it. On August 2nd, she asked us to make a list. Well, 3 lists, really 4. List 20 to 50 people, their occupations, 20 to 50 places, 20 to 50 things, and a palette of about 6 colors. And she suggested we go out to designseeds.com and pick the color palette. And I'll put a link to that in the description box below too. I went to my homework section here where I'm working on things that Dede calls homework. It's just projects that she walks us through to play around with mind mapping and inspiring and getting ideas. And I have been having a lot of fun with this. So here's my list for 20 to 50 people, my list for 20 to 50 places, my list for 20 to 50 things, and the color palette that I used, and I just wrote down the color codes here. Let's see, I did that on the 6th, so I have about 4 days in there that I just kind of played around with this list. And then on the 6th, I started doing the mind mapping. Her next video, she suggested that we pick a passion. And I picked one of my ideas and passions that I have under my writing tab here of writing letters. Now, if you've been following my channel at all, you know that a year or so ago, I was writing a lot of letters, and especially letters here on the Meri Atelier to my viewers. But I've kind of quit doing that, not because of any specific reason other than I just wandered over into other projects, and I want to get back to doing that. So I thought if I pick this passion of writing letters, maybe this will inspire something. I picked letters, and then out of our list, Dede, in her video, gave us 4 random numbers, 14, 30, and 2. So, out of my list for people, the 14th one was brain surgeon. The 30th one, out of place, was greenhouse. And out of things, my second one was ink pen. So over here, I wrote brain surgeon, greenhouse, and ink pen. And then I put the numbers there. Then here's my color palette. I'll put a link to that in the description box below. I tried to match the colors as much as I could, as close as I could. They're not exact matches because I just have craft paint, but I'm happy with this palette. I like this palette. And then I started developing my ideas. Now, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you because I think that would be boring, but I noticed some things. First, I started following Dede's suggestion of relating the brain surgeon to the letter and asking those questions: who, what, when, where, why, and how. The greenhouse to letters: who, what, when, where, why, and how. Homework to letters: who, what, when, where, why, and how. And then in the next video, she said relate the brain surgeon to the greenhouse. So we're going this way. And the greenhouse to the ink pen to the brain surgeon. So we have all of these ideas out here to work with to get to where we want to go. What is it going to inspire here? And I started doing that, and I started listing ideas and answering questions: who, what, when, where, why, and how. But I noticed as I went through with them, what am I going to do with this? And as I thought of different ideas, I'm going, well, maybe I could tell a story. Maybe I could make it into a zine. And so I started coming up with story ideas. asking who, what, when, where, why, and how. And here I started relating the brain surgeon to the letters, and over here I get more into the brain surgeon to the greenhouse, and the greenhouse to the ink pen, just working on that. I got to this point, and I started mapping out again, and I was working on this last night, and I'm going, oh, look at all this scribbling. And if you remember, I had shared in my big magazine idea playground where I was mapping out a female and a male character, and I was saying, I don't have enough space. There's not enough room on these pages, and I just have other pages back in here of where I've been doing more mind maps. Each one of these alphabet characters goes to a page back here of a mind map, and they look similar to this. I'm not going to show them all, I'm just telling you where I'm going with it. So, I'm going, I don't have enough space in my little book, even if I do a page spread. So, what did I do? I have this entire desktop to work with. This has to be enough space, right? I hope so. Maybe not. But what I'm going to do in this video is translate what I'm working on here and what I've been working on here on to this. And now I've also been going and doing just a little bit more research on different ways to mind map. And this, as Dede shares it, is what she likes to do. She says there's hundreds of ways you can mind map. So I'm going, hundreds of ways? What are they? I want to know. So I looked on Google and I looked on YouTube, and I'm not going to point to any of them, but I will say that I kind of like the idea of adding some more visuals to my mind mapping. So that's what I'm going to do here. I have an envelope here and I have a letter here. So this is going to be in the center of my circle. So I'm going to use my glue stick and glue these down right now. Let's glue it down temporary for now. This is going to be my center topic of letter, and I'm going to write letter there. This happens to be an envelope I got in the mail today. I painted out the address information. We're just going to temporarily put it like this, I think. Okay? With my paint marker here, let's write letters. That's one of the subtopics underneath of my tabs in my Society for Idea Collector. Then I'm going to draw a circle. I better make it a pretty small circle. This letter will be going outside of the circle here. Okay? Sort of a circle. Like that. So here I am. Here I'm here. The topic is letters. Over here, let's do it in a different color. Let's do it in green. Over here, no, let's do this one in green. Because this is going to be the greenhouse. Green for greenhouse. Does that make sense? I have to pull this down a little. This is number 30. And let's just color it in here. I'm going to make it artsy. I think artsy kind of attracts our artistic senses for mind mapping, right? So I'm just going to draw a little greenhouse, sort of, like this. And they usually have curved roofs. And then I'll just put some plants in there. Okay, that's going to be my greenhouse for now. I might arts it up a little bit more. But that's my greenhouse. That's number 30. For the ink pen, I think I'll use red. Red ink for an ink pen. Okay. Now, I had a little bit of a thought process of what kind of an ink pen, because that's one of my questions. So I don't want to draw an ink pen until I know what kind it is. So I'm going to put number 2. I'll just write ink pen. Ink pen. Greenhouse. And we need the brain surgeon. What color shall we put him in? Blue? We'll make the brain surgeon blue. And he was number 14. Of course, I could put my list on here too, but this is more to show the mind mapping and kind of draw it out and make it fun. If I wanted to put this in my journal, I'd have to fold it up, do a tip in. Okay, brain surgeon. I'm just going, let's see. A brain surgeon, this is more stethoscope, I guess. I don't know what kind of I guess a scalpel to cut into your head, but I'm going to give him a stethoscope here. Here's his head. We'll give him some hair up here. The ear. And he's got oh, that's okay. It's a joy of using art. Let's see. He's got a double-breasted coat here. I'm going to give him a lab coat, a surgeon's coat, and we'll just give him a pair of shoes down here. This is my brain surgeon, okay? Just a little man there. Okay, and this is my color palette right here. So I kind of want to mimic my color palette. So I have some paints picked out. Now I've got, this is more of a green-black color. So I want to mix my colors. And I need a paper to do that. This is a green. And I'll put a little green over here because it's a lighter green. And I'm just going to add a little black to this. A little bit of a white color to this one. We'll start with those two colors for now. I'm just going to kind of mix them here on my paper until I get a dark greenish black color. And I'm just going to, put them down here in this corner down here. Just smear it on, just like that, just to get an idea of what my palette is. And then the light green, which will be this color, a little bit more green in there. And I'm just going to put it underneath. Okay, now I need kind of a dark poppy, a medium poppy, and a light poppy, and a really light poppy. I'm going to go to this red. It's a lot of red. And I'm going to add some yellow to it to kind of get a poppy color. And some whitish color. Okay, so there are my colors, just mixed really fast on the fly. Here I did a little bit neater. So I'm really kind of at this point. I want to start asking my who, what, where, when, and why questions and sharing those with you. And that's really what I was doing over here. Who, what, when, where, and why. And we're going to relate them to the letters. So who, I'm calling him, since he's a brain surgeon, I'm calling him Dr. BS. What is he doing? He's writing a letter. We're just going to put write letter. He's writing this letter. When in August of, we'll put August 15th, 2017. Where? I'm going to put in his research lab. Where could also be, where does he live? Where is he when he writes the letter? Whole different things. Why? Why is he writing it? He is writing the letter because he made a discovery. Who is the letter to? So that could actually come back this way. And we're just going to say, I think I initially picked a company like Liquitex. So let's just go with that. He's never going to really send it. So this is a letter from Dr. BS to Liquitex. So we're just going to put to Liquitex. We all know the company Liquitex. They manufacture art products. Okay. Who, what, when, where, why. He made a discovery. All right. That brings up another question. What did he discover? But I'll get into that. Now we're going to get into the greenhouse. How does the greenhouse relate back to the letter? I'm going to go here. Who, what, when, where, and why. Who, what, when. And notice I'm not trying to make this ultra neat. I'm scribbling almost as much here as I am here. But I feel like I'm having more fun doing it here. And I'm sharing it with you. Who, what, when, where, and why. And there's actually a how here too. How, he's actually using his ink pen. He's not typing it. He's not emailing it. He is actually he's writing in longhand on his ink pen. But we'll just settle that. Why, and then there's a how in here too. I'm going to put the how up here. Who would actually be Dr. BS and Liquitex. So we'll just put Dr. BS for brain surgeon to Liquitex. What? He's writing a letter documenting his discovery. You all wanting to know what the discovery is, aren't you? You'll find out, but I'm not telling you right away. When? Well, we're going to use this, we used August 15th. I'm going to put August 16th. He was so excited about his discovery that he made that he had the very next day, he had to write a letter, tell him all about it. So, it's at the end of the summer in 2017. Where it could be, where is he sending the letter? Where is he writing the letter? Where is the greenhouse? Let's go with where the greenhouse is. So the greenhouse is actually outside of his research lab. Why? He wants to see if this discovery is going to make him a lot of money. So he's promoting his discovery. We'll put that way. And we're going to put $signs there. That will remind me. Okay, ink pen. How does the ink pen relate to the letter? Who, what, when, oh, how. We forgot the how. How does the greenhouse relate to the letter? I'm not sure. I'm going to leave that blank right now. Who, what, and that's okay to leave something blank. You got to think about it. You have to gel on it. How do you think I got to all of this? This happened over a course of from August 2nd to today, which is the 17th, so over 15 days. How I might have to let that stew a little. Who, what, when, where, why. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. Who, well, this is Dr. BS's ink pen. He owns it. It's his prized possession. We'll put prized ink pen. What? He's using it to write the letter. Maybe he thinks that's going to bring him good luck. Where? He's in his research lab, really in the greenhouse. Research lab, greenhouse. Why? He wants to share his discovery, see if it will make him any money. He's a brain surgeon. Doesn't say he's rich. When? August 17th, 2017. Let's see, how? I'm just going to put in longhand. Really, he's using the pen to write in longhand. Kind of redundant there, but it kind of reinforces it. So you got the general theme here. Now, she says to go this way, relate Doctor Who to the greenhouse. This way. And actually, this kind of is a double pointed arrow. The greenhouse to Dr. BS and Dr. BS to the greenhouse to the ink pen, and the ink pen to the greenhouse, and Dr. BS, I love that, Dr. BS to the ink pen, and the ink pen to Dr. BS. Who, what, when, and this is just following Dede's questioning method of doing mind mapping, only I'm trying to do it in a little bit of a fun artsy way. When, where, scribbly artsy way, but this is kind of brainstorming. Where, why, and how, and I needed more paper. I need more space. Okay, who? Dr. BS likes to go in this greenhouse after he's had a hard surgery to just putter around. So we're going to put Dr. BS's chill out space. He had a hard day. That's where he goes to think. What? While he was thinking, he came up with a discovery. When? In August of 2017. Where? Puttering in the greenhouse. Why? He had a hard day of surgery. Somebody's brain really got to him. Who? There's a whole nother question. You could come off here. Let's put a hard day in surgery. And you could come off over here and say, why did he have a hard day? Why? Let's just put complicated surgery. Who was giving him a hard time? Who had the brain that was giving him a hard time? I don't know. Who could we pick? Well, let's just put the mayor. The mayor. He didn't want to mess up the mayor's brain. So you can see, I'm not going to go through all of these. You can see how these branch out. And you say, why was it a complicated surgery? Well, because he was operating on the mayor's brain, and if he didn't get it right, the mayor would convict him of malpractice. So you could just go on and on and on with this, but I'm just going to put kind of like an infinity symbol here. So let's go back. I don't want to get off sidetracked over here. Let's relate the greenhouse to the, how? Let's see, Dr. BS to the greenhouse, how? I'm just going to say, let's see, how? The how's are a little bit harder for me. I'm going to leave the how blank here too. I'll come back to the hows, maybe. So let's go to greenhouse to the priced ink pen. Who, what, when, and notice I'm not particular about how I'm scribbling this on here. This is just for me. This is really fun. Who, what, why, where, how, who. Let's just say Dr. BS took his ink pen out to the greenhouse in his lab coat. After surgery. Who, what, when, where. Where the ink pen was, well, he's in the greenhouse. Why he's relaxing. The greenhouse is a good place to think. That's why greenhouse is a good place for him to think. How he carried it in his coat pocket. Carried in coat pocket. To greenhouse. Dr. BS to the prized ink pen. We've got another who, what. Can you see these? Who, what, when, where, why, and how. Who? Dr. BS has a prized ink pen. What? He uses it to write letter to Liquitex. When? After a hard day's surgery, a hard day's night, hard day of surgery. Where? He's going to actually sit down in the greenhouse and write it, because he's just excited about documenting it. Why? To share his discovery. How? I'll put longhand letter. Longhand written letter. So I've got a general plot here, and in fact, this doesn't have to be a story. This could be a picture. Now, I just did a funny little man here, and I collaged down an envelope and a letter and drew a funny greenhouse up here. I didn't draw the ink pen because this could really be what. This could actually go off into another tab over here. The ink pen, is it a fountain pen? Is it a retirement pen? Is it an I quit pen because I had hard surgery? Is it a ballpoint pen? I'll put dip pen. Maybe it's just a marker that he likes to use because he likes to scribble and it gives nice dark lines. So this could actually describe the pen, the what of the pen. I'm just going to draw the point of a pen here. This looks more like a fountain pen than anything. So I got the ink pen right there. Now I have to say somewhere in here, we're going to fit his discovery, because I know you're all wanting to know what he discovered in his greenhouse that he's so excited about writing his letter to Liquitex to see if he's going to make any money off of it. Of course, you know, he's going to have to get a patent, and I actually thought of the patent here. I'm going, well, he's going to claim patent right away, but he hasn't got it registered yet, so does he want to kind of fake out Liquitex and say, I got this patent, so don't try to steal it from me. So we're going to, since this is Dr. BS, that's a lot of BS, so we're just going to say that he's faking the patents because he doesn't want the scientists at Liquitex to steal his idea. But he wants to share it with them because he's a busy brain surgeon. He needs somebody to help him develop this product, and he really thinks it's got potential. And why does he think it has potential? Well, here's the why. Why? Why potential? Why potential of this discovery? Why potential discovery? Well, Dr. BS, being the BS doctor surgeon that he is, did surgeon on one of his friends who happens to be a mixed media artist. So we're just going to put surgery on. That's probably why he had a hard day up here too. Mixed media artist probably had so many things going through her brain that he was trying to connect it all together and said, here, you do it. All right. Anyway, so surgery on mixed media artist. And he's got a little bit of psychology background here too, because he's Dr. BS, and he knows BS when he sees it. But on the other hand, while he was operating on this brain of this mixed media artist, he discovered that this mixed media artist really needed brain surgery because they did an art journal 2 years ago. 2 years ago, and they put it away. And just in July of this year, they got it out. And all the pages were stuck together. They were just glued together. And I know that you know what I'm talking about, because this mixed media artist, being the inexperienced artist that they were 2 years ago, used glossy paint, glossy medium, did not realize that if they used a ton of acrylic varnish on it, glossy acrylic varnish, that it would just glue these pages together. They could not get the pages loose. And that set their brain in a tizzy. And they ran to Dr. BS for help. And so while Dr. BS was doing brain surgery on them, he discovered this through his little bit of psychology background. He'd gotten in to the brain and found the artistic center of the brain. It had a little bit of glossy accents in it. He said, "What's this goo?" Anyway, he got it out. Even though this person was under surgery, he discovered it was because all these pages were glued together. All because of this stupid art journal that this mixed media artist did 2 years ago, and all the pages stuck together. And he thought that was such a shame. All the pages stuck together. So he ran home and he researched it. And he discovered that this is common knowledge among artists. Why this mixed media artist didn't realize this, by the time they got done with a 50-page art journal that putting a lot of glossy varnish on their pages would glue them all together. Well, he couldn't figure out why they didn't know, but evidently they didn't know, and they stored it. And well, he found that out just by doing a half an hour's research on the internet, because that's what Dr. BSs do when they're doing surgery. You know, they want to find out more about the cause of things. He thought, well, why hasn't there been a product? Why hasn't there been a product out there on the market? There's matte medium, but what he could tell from matte medium, I'm going to put, why is there no product? Why no product on market? And he did his research, let me tell you. And the only thing he could find was baby powder and wax that was really effective. He's going, you mean we've got all of this scientific knowledge, we've got all of these geniuses in our going to our schools and everything, and there has been nobody who has developed a product that these poor little mixed media artists, which there's zillions of them out there from what he could tell. I mean, he went on YouTube and he just paged through channel after channel after channel of mixed media artists who all say the same thing. Use baby powder or wax to put on your pages. He's going, no, there's got to be a product. He found matte medium and he found matte paints, but he could not find a product that he could just put across the acrylic glossy paints that would cause those pages not to stick together. He found a lot of people trying. He visited the Meri Atelier, and he found a little project that she did a couple years ago where her pages stuck together, and she was trying all sorts of different things, but she came up with the same conclusion: baby powder or wax. He ambled out to his greenhouse here, and he sat down next to this odd plant. He never could figure out what this odd plant was. He didn't know where he got the seed. He thought maybe if he researched it a little bit more, he could figure it out. But while he was thinking, he accidentally stepped on one of the leaves. That's a shoe print. And it oozed out. And it happened to ooze out on a page that he had some glossy paint on. He was in here working in his greenhouse, and he was painting in his greenhouse, to tell you the truth, and he had some glossy paint. And it flew off on a piece of paper, and it happened to be there, and he noticed it was sticking together. But some of that goo, he used that page to wipe up some of that goo from that plant. And you know what? He put that plant on top of it, and he walked away for, almost overnight. And the next day when he walked out, he was out there on 8:15. He walked out there on 8:16, 8:17, and those pages weren't stuck together. And he's going, I found it. I found it. I wonder if Liquitex would be interested in my discovery. Now, he still has to, here is how. Here's the how here. The how is the story about stepping on the plant and wiping it up with a paper, wiping with painty paper. Mixed media artists do that a lot. He found that out while he was watching videos. They call it drop paper and all sorts of stuff. He really learned by watching those videos. So wiping up with paper, painty paper. So this is his letter to Liquitex. Now you could come back on another page and write the response of Liquitex back to the brain surgeon. But remember, he warned them, he's Dr. BS. Dr. BS has patent number X2948691234082 infinity. That's his patent number, so they can't steal it. Maybe next day, they invite him to bring it in. Invitation. This prompts an invitation from the head of Liquitex Research Lab. They want to know all about this because they think that's marketable. They think that the person who discovers a product that they can just kind of spray onto a really glossy art journal page, shut it up, put a stack of books on it, leave it there for 2 years and open it up and have it just turn with no crinkling, with no sticking. That's a discovery, and it's going to sell on the market. They are convinced of it. So here's my mind map. I had a lot of fun developing this. Dr. BS has become my friend. Now, I didn't use the colors over here, but can't you... I was thinking, what's growing in the greenhouse? Poppies. This is a color chart off of designseed.com. And this happens to be kind of a simile of the chart, because I don't have the right colors. I just have craft paint. But this is off of a poppy plant. There's poppies growing in here. Why are there poppies growing in there? Because they thrive in this climate. Well, what is the climate? Where is the greenhouse? Where does Doctor Who live? You see, you can go on and on and on with this mind mapping. I filled this entire almost 2x3 sheet of my story and his discovery to Liquitex. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun doing this assignment. This is not the only assignment that Dede gave us. But I worked almost, 15 days on this. And this was just one little story. I'm not going to share with you the other stories because I think they're too cool to share. Maybe someday I'll send it to a publishing company, or maybe someday I'll self-publish it. Who knows? Or maybe it'll just sit in my idea journal. But that's what idea journals are for. Now, here's the question. How am I going to get my mind map in this little book? I see me taking this off, cutting it, doing folding, and maybe on the back write a homework assignment number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and documenting it and signing my name and kind of writing what the project was about. But this isn't the only one. Dede has assigned 2 or 3 others to follow. One with art supplies, and what was the other one? I can't remember what the other one was. There's another one that she assigned out there. So I'll be working on those. If you've enjoyed this one, let me know, and I'll proceed with my art supply one, or maybe organization or something else. And I'm going to try to get a little bit more artsy with them. I did my palette here. I drew the little man here. I collaged a letter. I could have gotten a picture of a greenhouse out there, got some pictures of poppy plants, maybe 2 or 3 different ink pens, bottles of ink, letters, hospital, the mixed media artists, the journal pages that are sticking together. You can see how this whole thing could fit together. Or this little story could fit together in a zine. Could you see this, maybe this big page split up this way on another one of these, and maybe 8-page zine of this story with little illustrations in it? And I'm doing it to show you how ideas can develop and how I am getting inspired by Dede's projects of how to create, how one idea can link onto another idea. And you can do this visually. This is a lot of words. This is verbally. And I will say, I do think that the visual mind mapping might appeal more to the artistic community, rather than just writing letters here, actually putting a letter here, rather than having I got a little sketch here, but rather than writing Dr. BS, show a really funny doctor here with a goofy look on his face. And, putting a great big research lab here for the Liquitex research. And, you could develop this whole thing. So, I hope that you've enjoyed this. I think that the scientist, whether he's Dr. BS or a research lab technician at Liquitex, or maybe a mixed media artist working off in his own little studio, discovers a product that we can use to prevent glossy medium from sticking. I want something that I can use over metallic paint, over glossy paint, over acrylic mediums that I can just spray on. There's matte medium that you can put over it, but it turns my glossy matte. It doesn't keep that beautiful shine on my pages. And anything that's sticky or gooey or shiny will stick the journal pages together. So what fun that's been, Dede. I'm watching your channel. I'm doing my homework. I'm having lots of fun. I'm inspired. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next page.